then you should probably get familiar. What's up, YouTube? This is LuckExtreme, aka James Ark, aka Card Goodman, aka Sarasota Jones, aka Living Legend, reporting to you live from Jinzo&Tonic's YouTube channel. And I will be showcasing Flip Warrior. Got that name because it has warriors with flips. And it is the deck I used and invented to get third at the first Obelisk Blue tournament, which is held on Jinzo&Tonic server. I encourage you all to join if you haven't already. It's a lot of fun and good if you can't keep to a schedule that you can play these big tournaments on Saturdays, which I had the problem with in the past. Basically, I was using Chaos Control on ladder for a while and was finding that I was having a lot of problems with the aggro matchup. And it made me want to just try the deck myself and kind of build a combination of all the decks that I was losing to and see if I could figure out the matchup a little better for myself. But then I also just found it to be a strong and fun deck to use anyway. And since then, I've sent it to, well, I've done really well on the ladder. I've gone to number 1, and now I'm in like number 2 or number 3. And I've sent it to a few other people like AJTBLS, my tribesman, who is also top 5, a few other people in the top 30, like all using this almost exactly the same list. So I guess there's something to it. When I first built it, I was like, damn, this is really the new way for warriors to win. Now, I don't know. The Decoiches and Fates are good. I don't know if I necessarily say they're better than Skill Darts, or any of the other additional traps that people choose to run, but it works for me and probably will work for you, and it's just a new take on it, so I encourage you to try it. With that, let's just get into the deck. This is the deck I use on ladder, by the way, and the same side. I didn't prepare it specifically for this tournament, but it's just good all around, and at the time, Chaos Control was really popular, so definitely a little more geared towards that. Now that Turbo is more popular, maybe you could change a few things around. It seems like aggro has gone a little down in popularity as well. But anyway, this is your warrior package, these 7 guys right here. Sasuke is maybe the only uncommon card here, but it's just a really good 1800 light beater at worst case scenario, but it also kills spies, which is really important, or random recruiters or sorcerers they might put in defense mode. I would never cut it. I would at least side it, but it's worked really well for me in the main deck. These are the other beaters, Kaiku and Breaker. Kaiku, I was running 2, but up to 3. It's just good to summon alongside any beater to stop their Chaos monsters, even against decks that don't play Chaos that can remove their call or premature targets. These are the 4 flips. That's how it earned the name Flip Warrior. I just like being able to play defensively, and it's a little bit of a mind game versus the DD Warrior Ladies and Dom Lugs, which they also might expect you to set in a more normal warrior deck. So it can catch them off guard. It can create some kind of snowball advantages as you're drawing into more solemns, or can resolve multiple Trinity pieces. And at worst case, there are additional lights and darks for BLS, which is just, a huge bomb that you want to be able to drop at any time. Yeah, it makes it confusing for them to side deck. A lot of people leave in their Noblemans, leave in their mind controls, or depending on what they see game 1, they might not even realize that you're playing warriors, or might not realize you're playing the flips. So, I think they just provide a little solid engine and backbone, and Magician of Faces can be a good comeback play with which warriors often struggle with. So they work well for me, and yeah, Flip Warrior. Book of Moon gains a little more utility with the flips, also stop Snatch and Breaker. Trinity pieces, great. Don't cut duo, don't drop duo, that's stupid. Storm, MST, 2 Noblemen, pretty standard. Rhoda, standard obviously in Warriors, but honestly this card is so good. It's basically as good as a Trinity piece in my eyes. Just does anything you need it to at any given point in the game. And yeah, it gives a little more utility to the Magicians as well. Snatch, 2 Dust Tornado. Like I said, I kind of geared this towards when Chaos Control was really popular with the Humble Robot list, and that was a card I was really having trouble with, knowing what to set when. You don't want your scapegoats to get hit by this, and it can clear waves for the Blade Knights to attack direct, or attack over face down, I mean. So then I play Mirror Force Ring Snatch, Mirror Force Ring Torrential. Torrential I wasn't running for a little while, but it's just too good. At worst case, it's basically a Sakuretsu armor, and kills fields of multiple monsters, Thousand Eyes, Chaos monsters, etc. 2 Sakuretsu. I wasn't running this at first either, but I just kind of decided it was a good hedge with the aggro matchup, and just kind of versatile all around card, even just to kill a face-up sorcerer if they even if you're losing advantage, like it's just, you've got to kill it somehow. But yeah, Sacrifice is good against the aggro mirror and just never really gonna be that bad of a card. But I could definitely see dropping this to 1, or I side it out sometimes. 3 Solemn, pretty much backbone of the deck. Chaos monsters, sorcerers, you kind of set up these soft block scenarios with Kaikus or big monster on the board, and your flips draw into it, and you can just protect the flips from noblemen if you really, really need to. Protect BLS, you know, pretty much most important card in the deck. 2 Dust Tornado, was running 3, but I really just like 2 against like Chaos Control and aggro game 1. I don't really like it against aggro in general, but it's not that bad game 1 if you just have 1 or 2 copies. But I was really finding that if you were running 3 against those kind of decks and you resolve 1 and then you end up drawing into another one over the next 2 turns when you really need to be applying pressure, it's just really bad, and it just does the opposite of what you need to do if you're drawing multiple dust shoots that are dead. So I really just like the 3rd against Turbo or OTK decks, so that's why I dropped it to 2. And but I could see the argument for 3 as well. I know some people have had some success using that. Onto the side deck, which, yeah, this is just the general side deck I use on ladder, so it's prepared for a wide field, but I think it'll serve you well against any matchup, basically. Jowgen is great for Reasoning Gate. I find the discard to destroy Vortex effect to be pretty underrated. Sometimes I won't even summon it turn 1 to try to floodgate them out. I'll summon like another monster, wait for them to use Snatch Steal or Brain Control or try to kill it somehow, and then you can summon Jowgen, kill their whole field, and then they need out to Jowgen, they need a additional combo to make a field, and that just usually seals the game up right there. 2 Swordsmen, I don't main this because in game 1, usually Blade Knight can just deal with any flip or face down monster. It's just safer if you're attacking into a Sangan or something. Really, Tomato is the only thing in game 1 that you prefer, Swordsman or Spy. But in game 2, they have the Spies, they have Kinetics, they have you know, they side out maybe the Decoy Cheese or something that you would usually just feast on with the Blade Knight. So Swordsman becomes really important there, and I like the 2 copies. Tribe against Chaos Control and other random beatdown aggro decks, Bazoo decks. Zambira is a kind of tech pick for the aggro mirror. As I do this, I guess I'll show you guys how I side, but yeah, this is against aggro. I'll bring in stuff like this, but Zambira basically, Zambira can just be a 2100 beater that is searchable by Rhoda, and it's a dark, so you use it to swing over a Blade Knight or use it to just put on the board and not attack, so they can't Sakuretsu it, and they have to use a removal spell on it. Mind Control is really good against Chaos Turbo. I am very cautious with Mind Control. I don't like just using it on random face downs because, like I was saying, they bring in genetics, they bring in stuff like that. So it's a little bit of a risk, but just the fact it can also kill a face of Chaos monster by banishing itself is really good to me. But that's why I only play 1. I can see myself playing 2 if I really wanted to, though. It's good just to attack with Swordsman. If they block it, then main phase 2 you can Mind Control as well. 2 Compulse, I bring this against the Chaos Control matchup, which I said like this. And yeah, it's also really good because a lot of those decks that also play Scapegoat are siding in creature swap. So whether you're using it to chain to the creature swap just to make it fizzle, or you let the creature swap resolve, you take their guy, and then you bounce your own guy back to your hand with Compulsory. It also just has a lot of versatility, like dodging Snatch Steal or reusing a flip effect, reusing a breaker. All that is pretty relevant. So then you have the 3rd Dust Tornado against Burn and Aggro Mirror. Magic Drain, also a tech pick. Halfway through the tournament, I decided I just really only like siding in 1 against Chaos Turbo. But it's good because they side out usually their noblemen or side out some amount of spells and aren't playing that many spells anyway. So there's a pretty good chance you can use it just to get a 1-card negate on, say, their card destruction or Trinity piece. And if you do that, that's a really good favorable position for the Warrior player, because usually those cards are kind of the blowout. We got a 3rd Dust Shoot against Turbo and other OTK decks, and Widespread Ruin, which, like you saw, I bring against aggro, but also I sometimes bring it in against the Reasoning Gate deck, just have a little more defense against like Balters and Air Knights, but also I can swap them out with the Sakuretsus if I see someone playing the Facilier Dragon Metamorphosis combo. And even though that's not that common, I just really don't like my decks being completely dead to any individual combo. So having some more outs to it is definitely welcome. And no fusion deck, I don't play Metamorphosis, and that's pretty much the deck. Like I said, it's done really well for me on ladder, and I only really came back to the game this summer during quarantine and stuff, and I'm happy to participate in these GOAT format tournaments. Like I said, you should all join the Discord server. I think that's a great way to improve, and even just in the couple months that I've been playing, I've definitely gotten a lot better. And I would encourage you all to try this deck. Warrior kind of has a bad reputation as like a helmet deck or just no skill or something, but you know, I think it's just as complicated. Having played Chaos Control and Chaos Turbo to a pretty high level on the ladder, I think it's just as skillful as those decks, just different kinds of stuff. Like you have to know when to solve them correctly, know what order to set your flips or bluff with Blade Knights or something, and know how to read their face downs really well, especially with cards like Mind Control. So yeah, I encourage you all to give it a try. Like I said, when I first made the deck, I don't know, I was super hyped on it. Now I kind of see how there could be flaws to it, but overall it's just super well-rounded and like not really gonna do you wrong in any specific matchup. So thanks to Jinzo&Tonic again, and Rouse, and peace.